My mother-in-law stole my collection of vintage skeleton keys to sell at a pawn shop and buy herself a new phone. I'm dividing the post into two halves to make it easier to read. My mother-in-law is insanely entitled, and my wife's enabling of her has made our marriage very challenging at times. My mother-in-law has come to us for money frequently because she keeps spending herself into a hole, being a hoarder and a shopaholic. Her house is full of garbage, junk, and unopened items she never uses. The house is also rodent-infested. She has one semi-clean room in the whole building, the master bedroom, which she has set up like a little studio apartment with a futon, an entertainment center with a TV and streaming services, and a makeshift kitchen consisting of the adjoining bathroom, a mini fridge, and a microwave. My mother-in-law is also overweight because she eats out a lot. Recently, my mother-in-law came to us specifically asking me to buy her a new smartphone as an unprompted gift. She threw a massive fit when I refused, a child temper tantrum kind of fit. Her current phone was only 2 years old and still working fine, as confirmed by my wife. However, my mother-in-law was adamant that she deserved a new phone. Before leaving, she yelled at us, claiming that we're supposed to be pampering her now that she's an old woman even though she's only 53. My wife also didn't want to buy her mother the phone because she had already given her money not long before to ensure her bills were paid. I have an extensive collection of vintage skeleton keys, including ones from particular hotels, large ornate sergeants, brass railroad keys, reading hardware, etc. The entire collection should easily be worth $2,000 to $3,000 with some super rare keys. I kept them in a locked display cabinet, but a few days ago I came home to find my entire collection gone. The cabinet had been forced open. After checking the CCTV footage for the living room, I saw my mother-in-law force open the cabinet with a small crowbar, put all the keys in a couple of boxes she brought with her, and left with them. I called her right away, demanding she return my collection. Nonchalantly, she told me she had already sold the entire collection at a pawn shop and used the money for her new phone. She claimed it was my fault and that she had to do it because I wouldn't give her the money. Initially seeming supportive, my wife changed her stance when I mentioned calling the police. She begged me to drop it and even suggested I start a new collection. However, I refused to let it go, as many of those keys are not only expensive but irreplaceable. I spent 10 years building that collection. My wife kept blowing up at me, telling me to let it go. So, I slept in the guest room that night and sought online help the next day when my best friend recommended trying Reddit. I'd been a lurker before, but making an account wasn't hard. My mother-in-law has caused trouble in the past, but this was the first time I know of that she had stolen from us. I needed help, so I asked here. The resounding advice finally made me realize I was the only one keeping my marriage afloat, and it would likely never get any better if my wife wasn't on my side when her own mother steals something irreplaceable from me. Now, to answer some quick questions I received. 1. How did my mother-in-law get into the house? My wife unilaterally gave her a key when we moved in, that's why. 2. Why did I have CCTV cameras in the living room? Really? Wouldn't you do that if you had something valuable on display there? 3. Is my mother-in-law on drugs? No idea, she's always been crazy. 4. Did my mother-in-law steal from us before? Not that I have been able to tell, and I've checked everything I could think of. 5. What kind of phone did my mother-in-law get? Not a clue, but probably one of the cheaper smartphones with the amount of money she got selling my stuff, unless she's on a payment plan. 6. Did my wife use my money to placate her mother before? Yes, she did. We primarily have separate accounts, but we do have a joint account we use to pay the bills. In 2 years of marriage, it happened roughly 5 times. Every time my wife took money from the joint account for her mother, she always replaced it on her next payday. However, in hindsight, I think she only did so because she knew I'd never let it go, as she would always have an attitude with me for a few days after. I was in a bad marriage fog before, but this whole situation has snapped me right out of it. 7. Will I lock down my credit? Already have. Though I'm not sure my wife or her mother would be so stupid to do something like that after my mother-in-law was recently arrested. I have recovered my collection and hidden it somewhere my wife and mother-in-law have no idea where it is. I'll provide more details in another post tomorrow. Edit. Since it keeps being mentioned, yes, I did call the police. Yes, an arrest was made. Yes, my wife is soon to be an ex. Know that I'm taking many precautions right now.